Hi, I'm Jennifer Nace.
And I'm Ryan Nace.
And we want to tell you our story of the Guidepost Comfort Kit and our son, Austin. When Austin was first born, he was big. He was 10 pounds and everything was fine. We had a regular delivery, and then he started to turn blue. And obviously not a good color for a baby, so we were in the local hospital and they couldn't handle the situation, so he was transported, and he spent a week in the hospital and was diagnosed with pulmonary hypertension after they had ruled out everything else. And after a week, his numbers came up and he was fine, and he was released home. And it was a week that he was...
Yep, he was in there for 6 days. So.
And we came home and everything was fairly normal, and over time we noticed he wasn't hitting the milestones quite the way you would expect, and lack of muscle tone. He wasn't very strong. He didn't hold himself up. He didn't press himself up. We went to the pediatrician, we were talking about it, and she said, there's a lot of things. The hernias, he had a lot of coarse body hair, a lot of body hair, and the ear infections and the curve in the back. And she said, I read something. There's something. I want to send you for some tests. So the testing continued, and the diagnosis was confirmed to be mucopolysaccharidosis type 1. And he was admitted in the end of August in 2006, just after he had turned 1. And he had a port placed, and he had a slew of tests to get a baseline, and he started weekly enzyme replacement therapy. And we travel an hour and 20 minutes down to Westchester Hospital where he gets his treatments. They last about 5 hours. He's hooked up to an IV, and his vital signs are taken every 15 minutes if he allows it.
If he allows it.
If he allows it, he doesn't always. And we've been incredibly blessed with the people that we've met and the people who touch our lives that we've never met. It's an amazing thing to have a child who's sick, because you see, the blessing in it is that you see the very best of people. You get to see the very best of people, and not everybody gets to. Not everybody gets to.
The day that Anna actually visited us was a day that we were doing an interview with a local television station. And out of the blue, Anna shows up and just hands Austin a star. And then she disappears.
He loved it, and he was very young, but this was an image that he recognized, and it made him so happy, and it was amazing the way she just kind of came from nowhere.
And he carried that thing around with him,
and he still had to have his infusion that day. So what we did is we did the filming early, and then he went and had his infusion. And it was a stressful situation, because we had to get the filming done, and we had to get him up, because his drug, once it's mixed, has a shelf life, so he has to get started. And he stayed calm throughout with this star, throughout, and went up and took it up and got hooked up to his IV, and it stayed with him the entire time.
Absolutely did. Yeah.
So at first it was about the box and the star. And then as he got a little bit older, the book came out, and then it was the coloring of the book and recognizing the pictures and sitting and talking about, the things in the book. So there were all these different layers to it. It grew with him. It's kind of grown with him. And it is a wonderful treasure box. And I can see how, because we're in the infusion suite, it's actually run by the oncology department. So we spend a lot of time with children who have cancer. This box is a great way for them to have continuity from visit to visit, a positive, okay, we have to go back to the hospital, let's take your comfort kit. Let's, have it packed, have a couple special things that could go, and it would be familiar and pleasant and positive and happy as they go back into this scary environment sometimes.
You think of most gifts that you give, whether it be on a birthday or whatnot, especially to a younger kid, and they tear open they tear the paper off the box and they look at it, and then they open it and they play with the toy for all of 35 seconds, throw it away, and then they play with the box for the next hour and a half. Well, what I've been amazed with is how this gift has been able to be with Austin over such a long period of time. The fact that he received it as young as he was, and he was still going back to it literally 6 and 9 months later, and a year later, using it for that treasure box, to store his cars in, to store his characters in. It's like, it was that wonderful reminder of that gift, of that blessing of someone saying, we're with you. Even though we may not know you, we're with you and we're praying for you.
And that's a gift, not just for the child, but so much for the parents.
Absolutely.
It's knowing, and especially when it comes from guideposts, it's support. It's support, it's prayer, it's positive. It builds you up. You think, there are people out there who care about us. They have no idea who we are. And they care about my child. And as a parent, when you're in that situation and you're feeling so helpless, when your child's in the hospital and you just want to kiss it and make it better, and you can't. You can't fix this. You need that support. There are people who love your child, even though they don't necessarily know you. And I think that's so important for getting through these times.
You need the stepping stones, because when you're in the world of the unknown, and whether it be MPS or cancer or whatever, it's a world of an unknown. You're looking for those stepping stones that you can go, okay, I'm here and it's solid. And this sort of gift is a reminder of that stepping stone that allows you to go, okay, I can move forward because I know I'm not alone. I can move forward. I can make it to this next place. Even though I don't want to go here, I can make it. And that's a good thing. That's a wonderful thing. The Guidepost Comfort Kit is something that we will be able to use, that Austin will be able to use for a long, long time. He'll be able to keep his treasures, whether it be for this particular week or for however long, and just enjoy them and cherish them. And it will be a wonderful reminder of the blessings of hope and of love that have been given to us. And that is a wonderful gift.